like the knuckles on your hand.
Knuckles, what are you incarcerated for, sir? And how long is your sentence?
Uh, okay, so I started out. I came in with 16 months with half for a felon with a firearm and possession of methamphetamine. I had about 4 months left on my sentence, and I ended up catching another 17 years. We ended up beating a guy to death in Wasco Reception Center. So I got assigned 17 years for voluntary manslaughter.
Man, that is one of the most craziest situations that I've heard, that I've come across, and I
Yes,
can't wait
it
to
is.
dive into it, man. Where you from out here in the streets, sir?
From Lake Elsinore. I grew up in Whittier. Do you know where Whittier is?
Yes, absolutely. That's out there by Montebello, off the 605.
Exactly. Off the 605. I was raised in Whittier, California until I was, say, 10 years old. And then my grandmother died. It was too much on my grandfather. So I had to go live with my mother's side of the family in Lake Elsinore. That's down there in Riverside County. And that's where I've been ever since. So I spent my whole teens growing up in Lake Elsinore, California.
And at any point in time in your life, man, were you ever associated with any type of gangs, groups, organizations, or anything like that, man?
Yeah, I've been a gang member since I was about 15 years old. I was a tagger. I used to do graffiti art on the street, and I was doing that since I was about 15 years old. And then I ended up I ended up becoming a skinhead when I was like 17 years old. I took that route, and I was a skinhead for maybe about 15 years. I guess where I grew up in Whittier, I was pretty much the only me and my brother were the only white kids growing up, so I used to get beat up a lot. Me and my brother did. We used to fight every single day. They used to the kids around the neighborhood, they were pretty much Hispanic other than us. They used to take our stuff, like they used to take our bikes and our skateboards and everything like that. So I was fighting every single day when I was a kid. So I guess I wanted to belong somewhere. So I started hanging out with a couple of people, and their thing was tagging. So, I started becoming a tagger. I started learning how to do graffiti art. Um, it gave me a sense of, like, I guess, purpose, and like I felt wanted because I was getting a complete opposite from everywhere else. Like I said, I was getting beat up every day. Like I would walk out of my house and there's the kids waiting for me right there. And the way my family is, they were pretty much old school. You go fight, man, go fight. You keep fighting, like you're gonna earn your respect that way. So I did that, and then I moved. I moved to Lake Elsinore with my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family, they're not racist at all. Like they don't believe in racism. My dad ended up marrying a African American lady. But when I moved to my mom's side, they're completely racist, and I mean like they're all white power, like to the bone. So once I moved out there, I guess I didn't really like choose. At first, I didn't choose the whole skinhead, the whole racist thing. I didn't really choose it. It was more like forced on me because my family was that way. And I guess slowly but surely it got into me. And then I how do I say this? I took it upon myself as I seen, okay, well, I'm so tired of all these Mexican people beating me up and these black people beating me up that I started to grow hate for them. I really did. Like, I started to really hate them. And that's how I became a skinhead.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is your host, Most of Great Day, Late Dollar Short News, live and direct where we ride for respect. Please tap that like, that share, that subscribe, and all that good stuff so you'll be tuned in to the latest and the greatest. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified. You can drop in on this Day Late Dollar Short News vlog every time I drop. Salute to all the new subscribers. Thank you and welcome to another dose of Day Late Dollar Short News. You saw the video. That's insane. On my first term, unfortunately, I have to tell you this, but yeah, my first term, I had a 16-month sentence. And if you go back through my discography of videos, you'll see how the first time I went to jail, how that went and worked out for me. But the second time I went to jail, and I'll probably drop that video either later on this evening or tomorrow, depending on how much time I have. And that's the one that landed me in prison for a 16-month term in the state of California for the crime that I committed, which was possession for sales. It was a mandatory minimum of 16, 2, and 3 at the time. So being it was my first time, well, it really wasn't my first time. The first time I got drug diversions, but I failed the drug diversions because I got cracked selling drugs again. So I got a 16-month term. I did 10 months and 16 days off of a 16-month term. Excuse me. This gentleman had 16 months. Imagine having 16 months and turning it into a life term. That is insanity. And it was probably some minuscule stuff. Maybe they had to do a cleanup job, or they had to discipline one of their own. Maybe somebody came in there with bad paperwork. Maybe they had to do a removal, what you call a removal in prisons, where you got to get somebody up out of your wherever your living area is by force. And it may have went too far. It's what I'm assuming. It was a removal gone bad, or discipline with a DP, or whatever the case may be, gone bad. And that's how easy it is for you to get a life sentence. And that's why the catalyst of this video is stay away from gangs, man. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from people who are on a crash course going nowhere fast, 150 miles an hour, like I was. Fortunately, I was able to turn it around and be able to be free. But in his case, he doesn't get a second chance, man. And that is so disgusting, man. You go in there with 16 months and end up taking someone's life, and now you're in there for life. 16 months. The lowest term possible you can get in the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation is 16 months. Like I stated earlier, I did 10 months and 16 days. He could have been home. I don't know when he caught his charge. I don't know what that man is up in there for initially, but now he got a murder charge. And young men and women, that's how easily it is. You can get the life sucked out of you. They drop that anvil on your chest. Don't know if he had, kids or a wife, but he can kiss all of that goodbye, man. This is your host, Most the Great, Day Late, Dollar Short News, man. Tap in and tell a friend. We out.